Alright guys, so we're back with another ace video. So this is from the same testing night that we had for the last video with Katakuri. This time I'm playing versus Lucci. Now again, these are just not the best of ace matchups. Cards that cannot be KO'd make ace a sad boy. But other than that, I have been playing ace. I have made a couple of adjustments in my playstyle, in my deck, and it has been feeling just a little bit more solid. And because of that, my preconceptions of ace from the last video seem just a little bit darn better. So we're going to see a turn 2 air door into what seems to be a Bluno here from Lucci. And yeah, that's just exactly where you want to be. Air door, very versatile card. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. But in the situations that it does hit where it cheats out a 5-drop, it feels really, really good. Let's say you were going second right versus a Zoro deck and they had a Dodon here and you air door a Kaku, you're gaming. So I'm going to go back to my turn. I didn't really have a turn 1 play or a turn 2 play. I have Striker now, but Striker may be a little late. I'm going to go hit for 5. And I'm going to go ahead and just, summon a big boy. Even though it has 0 value, I do need the body, right? Since he does have a Bluno on board, I need to go ahead and be able to contest the Bluno while simultaneously being able to apply pressure. Unfortunately, that means I have to summon a card. Bluno's going to go hit for 7. Now I'm down to 2 life, and yeah, that seems bad, but doable. So it goes back to my turn. Again, I tried to get him off of the even curve, but it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and attack him for 6. I know that he has the Kuminari in his trash. Then me and Jonathan here are convinced on how we're going to go about doing this play. And it's not an easy play to figure out whatsoever. We're trying to sequence it correctly. We have an ace in our hand, and we could ace and then go ahead and try to clear it. But if we go ahead and do that, it's going to be in a very difficult position. That guy can't block, so he's trying to figure out how we can do it so he can go ahead and kill the Bluno while making the Kuminari attack and then removing the Kuminari as well. But it is easier said than done. So yeah, so the way that we were talking about it is I summon the ace and then swing with the leader. And then that summons the Kuminari, which makes so that leaves us so that the ace and the Marco can go ahead and attack the Kuminari. But he will probably combo out of it just because it makes the most amount of sense. I'm going to go ahead and reduce that by 3, meaning that it becomes a 3k. I swing it with leader. I go 6 at 6. That's a 1k. And then a 2k, right? So it gives me a 1 and a 2 just simultaneously there. And then it goes back to my turn. But now I have characters that he wants to attack. The unfortunate part of my hand, it's this very event heavy, which, it does happen with ace. The issue is, if he goes at my characters, I can't use my very powerful ace ability to protect it with my events. And the fact that I'm tapped out is very, very unfortunate. Even though ace was some sort of catch-up mechanic there, the best that it did was really clear a Bluno. But since Bluno is so sticky, it immediately replaced itself with a character of equivalent cost. Goes and attacks my leader. I go ahead and pitch a Fire Fist. As every card on the board is above the 5k threshold, he goes ahead and swings at probably my Marco for 6. I pitch a Marco. Blockers aren't necessarily great in this matchup, and I do have a second one. He goes Fujitora, and he is able to remove some cards from me. Now, there is a universe where I could have gone ahead and really dumped some cards out of my hand in order to defend my character, but it is what it is. So since Fujitora is a 9k and not an 8k, the Flame Emperor has a way less value. But I'm going to go ahead and pitch a Marco 1k, because that Flame Emperor might come in handy in the following turns. So going to my 9-drop, I have a Whitebeard, and that is going to have to be enough of a catch-up mechanic just to get there, but it's just really, really tough. We haven't really been able to deal too much damage, and he does have big bodies on the board. 6Ks are real numbers, and he does have a hand size, 4 cards. Now, they're not super real cards, but Bluno being a card on the board makes it even more difficult to go ahead and remove cards off the board, because if I do remove the Bluno, he just summons back another character, and it's just really, really tough in general. So I go 7 at 6. He lets it go. He's going to go ahead and summon a Fukuru or a Spam Dam. Opts to go for the Spam Dam. Now, Spam Dam is not a card that I necessarily have to care about, because it's very difficult for it to really, declare an attack at me. So I'm going to go 6 at 6. He has to pitch a 1. And if he notices that my leader hasn't attacked yet, then he can, obviously estimate the fact that I will be going for a Whitebeard, right? Because if I haven't swung with my leader and I chose him for last, that means because my leader is a 7k, and yeah, there's only one play here. And that is summon the Whitebeard. And I'm just going to swing at it for 7. He pitches the 2k and then goes back to his turn. It is what it is, but he definitely has to defend the 6k, because that is another aggressive stat line that he can go ahead and push into my leader this turn. And we're going to go 9 at 7, and again, with my limited hand size, I can't let that. I can't defend that. He goes 6 at 6. I will have to defend that. I don't really want to pitch Flame Emperor because it could prove handy, but it really is what it is. He goes for the air door that he searched off of the spam dam, and hopefully he whiffs Copium. He goes ahead and looks at the top 5, and it does summon a, you know, just a 6k. Just summoning big dudes is good enough sometimes, right? And where does he go with the rest of his turn? He already attacked there, attacked there. He's going to go 7 at my leader, and I think I have to take this. I could defend by pitching the stage. It's really sad that I haven't used the stage so far. It came in at a weird time in my curve, and I haven't been able to deploy it just yet. Even though it is 1 Dawn, I have been taxed every single turn. I've been going 5, 7, 9, which is very powerful. It's a very powerful curve, and it just still isn't enough to really, truly get there. Now I take it, and he does have a very powerful board with 10 Dawn coming up in the next turn. And if I don't start eliminating cards off of that board, we're going to be in a very difficult position. I go ahead and use my striker here to find something. I get the Crossfire, which will be used offensively, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and pitch 2, targeting. We're trying to find a way how to do this in a reasonable scenario, but you know, I just tie up my Dawn so heavily that it becomes very, very difficult. I could go ahead and, you know, minus the Fujitora. My general game plan was to minus the 4-drop vanilla, swing in with the Whitebeard at Fujitora, pop the vanilla, but then he blocks with Borzolino, and then I can't remove Fujitora unless I swing 8 at 8, which is very easily blockable. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these 2 cards off the board, and now I'm going to struggle to remove this. Oh, he lets it go, poggers, and then I'm going to swing for 5. He takes a quick block, and it goes back to his turn. I leave 1 Dawn up. And yeah, I was able to deal with most of the cards on the board here, but Rob Lucci plus 2 characters and 1 life, this should be enough to just be like 7, 7, 7, and I lose the game, right? Because I have a very limited hand size. So we'll see what he chooses to do here. And it's a very easy 7, 7, 7, just 1 Dawn investment into the 4-drop. Yeah, he asked me how many cards in my hand, I place it down, it's 3, and even with like, you know, I have 1 up, so we have a Radical Beam, so it'll go 7. That's 2 cards, which is I have a 2 and a 1. He goes 7. I Rad Beam. He goes Borzolino, and I have to take it. Now I'm not necessarily out of the game, but this is what it is. He goes 6. Oh, I had a hand size of 4. Sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and pitch a 2, and he summons God. More dudes. Now there is something to be said about going ahead and keeping the Otama, potentially for maybe some destructive ability, but since all the cards in his deck that are blocker are 6Ks, I didn't want to keep Otama in my hand. I'm going to go ahead and pitch 2, or pay 2 for the striker ability, and I could grab another Radical Beam here, which is another defensive card, but even with the Rad Beams, I don't necessarily know how I survive on the next turn, because I cannot interact with most of the cards on his board. So we opt to get the the Flame Emperor to remove the Balluno, right? Because we need a card to deal with the board state. He grabs another air door. Opts to grab the Kuminari instead. I'm gonna go 10. And then we're just declare, swing there for, we're gonna ignore the spam dam, and we're gonna go ahead and hit him for 2 lives, and then we'll hit 6 at the spam dam if he wants to, or it can be 6 at leader. It's irrelevant. He either pitches the 2k or 1k. If he really does want the spam dam, he can just block 1k, which is we know it's accessible to him. So it, like I said, it just felt a little bit irrelevant, and we're down into the same scenario that we were in the last turn. But now we went ahead and dealt 2 points of damage. He was able to draw 3 cards off of that, and then I guess the spam dam gave him another card. So he's going to go ahead and swing at my lead for 7. And now we're at 3 instead of 4 cards, so it's a little bit easier for him to do this math. Jonathan picks up the cards, and we're just like, sure, man, Radical Beam, I guess. And he just has to attach some amount of Dawn to the spam dam. And, you know, even though we had to ignore him, or we tried to clear him, the fact that he's still on the board presents quite some damage. Gonna go ahead and swing 7 with Borzolino. Oh, or not. Thinking. I mean, I do have just 2 cards in hand, right? So he just goes 7. I pitch the 2 cards. He goes 5 base with the Borzolino, swing everything with the spam dam, and that's just math, right? So he'll hit the 7. The only way that I do get out of this game is if I hit a a trigger here in life to pop the Borzolino, and I can go ahead and defend it, but it is what it is. Now, at the end of the day, even though this was a difficult matchup for Ace, it really did come down to this final turn, right? If we do get one more turn, I do believe that we are able to close it out, just like we were with the Katakuri game. So don't count Ace out just yet. We're still testing him. We're still finding the best way to play him. So once we get that list that I feel very comfortable releasing to you guys, we'll go ahead and unleash it on the channel. As always, guys, if you like this sort of content, don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment in the comment section down below. And if you want to consider joining the Pirate Crew, hit that subscribe button, as we will continue to be posting One Piece content. See you then. Later.